So let's start off with the 7 old Disney worlds that should return in Kingdom Hearts 3. These are in no particular order. The first one is Olympus Coliseum. First off, it's been in every game except Kingdom Hearts 3D so far, so there is, it should just kind of show up. Second reason is it's a good way to level up. If you don't level up in the Olympus Coliseum, it does feel a little bit weird, honestly. Third thing is that there's been a couple of minor mysteries around the Olympus Coliseum, usually involving Hades. The big one is Zack, because he disappeared at the end of Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. Disappeared. But there are other things too, including how he's managed to get a hold of several of the Square Enix characters that popped up, such as Cloud and especially Sephiroth, considering how the way Final Fantasy ends and what we know about Kingdom Hearts. It doesn't look like anyone could have really kind of sealed Sephiroth away, so how in the world did Hades get that in the first place? So, at least as a way to level up and to see what happened to Zack, we should expect to come back. My personal opinion is Zack is trapped in the realm of darkness after he figured out Hades was behind why everyone disappeared. And no, Hades was not explicit behind everything that disappeared, but he decided just to take advantage of it, and since Zack asked to be with Aqua, Hades sent him there. Got him out of his hair. The last thing is actually also with Hades. Hades is most likely immortal, and he's almost definitely one of the oldest characters in the Final Kingdom Hearts series. So as they're looking for information about what happened in the past worlds, past battles, past everything, Hades is the one that can tell them. He can, if they've managed to get Hades to talk, which who knows if that could happen, it would involve them getting some sort of leverage about how whatever Master Xehanort planning would be bad. Hades could fill in what he could, or he could even summon some old keyblade masters from the ends of the underworld to talk and explain. It would be a very good shorthand because he's already established most of this power. Second one that could old world that could show up is Wonderland. These are maybe not quite as good reasons, but one thing that's definitely stuck out in both the video game and the manga, however it's pronounced, the Cheshire Cat has been definitely implied to be very worldly, I guess. He definitely knows more than he's letting on, and he is aware on some level that there are other forces at play in his world. So just the Cheshire Cat, I don't know what the Cheshire Cat would do, but he would definitely be involved. He could be involved somehow in the wider world issues. Marluxia, however you want to say his name. I know the official pronunciation is Marluxia. That's just really kind of stupid. I like Marluxia. Anyway, however you want to say his name, he does seem like he came from there. I think it's the pink hair and the flower motif. It fits more in Wonderland than the other worlds that we've seen. We could also go into a little bit about Alice being a Princess of Heart. She was probably picked because of there wasn't really an official princess line back then when Kingdom Hearts was released, or if it was very, very new. So Alice was an easy one to insert to fill in the space. But now between like Rapunzel, Anna, and Tiana, there could be another one that could take your place. And if they want to talk about the fluidity, I guess, of Princess of Heart, or maybe how they are determined, Alice would be a good point because she's not really a princess. I mean, Kairi has an excuse being an original character, but not so much for the rest. Last one is just shrinking and growing are fun. Third world is 100 Acre Woods. It's the minigame world. They're a lot of fun. The other examples are side quests to find the items like you did in the previous Kingdom Hearts games, and because Pooh has a very interesting status. They have talked about previously how creatures who don't initially have hearts can get them, and the way the world is set up as being inside a book, we don't really know if I guess that anyone there has hearts or not. And especially because the characters are aware, at least on some level, they're in a book. So I don't think they're going to go into it too much. It's just the very cute minigame world, the absolutely adorable minigame world. But it would be interesting if they go into the status of heart. Next world is Port Royal. And I'm actually kind of excited about the Port Royal idea. The main thing is in Birth by Sleep, they establish that if a Keyblade Master and another person hold on to a Keyblade at the same time, the other person has the capability, although it's not guaranteed, to wield a Keyblade. There was they very explicitly pointed out that Sora and Jack did hold on to the Keyblade at the same time, and if you watch carefully, they hold it together for a very short amount of time. So, with Sora's heart also having Ven and Roxas in there at that point, definitely Ven, possibly Roxas, he should be at a master power level, which means Jack is entirely a possible Keyblade wielder. I don't know if we necessarily want Jack Sparrow to wield a Keyblade, but it would be a plot point to figure it out. Another thing is it's a very good way to check the shader. We know how the quote-unquote realistic look worked last time. So to have it to check the shader just to see how it looks now, see how Sora looks, because it can't really get much worse than that. Another reason is because Dead Man's Chest and At World's End both delved into souls and afterlife and redemption, especially in regards to how can someone be corrupted and how can someone be redeemed and what sacrifice means. And with it, the final battle for Xehanort gearing up and how death's been implied but not really stated so far, we could probably look into that a little bit more, and Dead Man's Chest and At World's End would be a reasonably safe way to do it. I will say I don't think At World's End is a particularly good movie, especially when they're going to go and get Jack and some of the stuff in Singapore. I think it's Singapore. But it would definitely be interesting to look into, especially in regards to the fight on the fight on the battlefield. Not the battlefield, the ship. Fifth world, the Space Paranoids. Because of Kingdom Hearts 3D, we know that non-sentient or non-hearted beings can gain a heart, and Tron is the first one implied to get it, because he starts dancing and hugging and caring about people. So to establish the new heart status with Tron and to track him would be interesting. Another reason is he is digital, and we know the digitized journals and possibly a digitized book of prophecy will end up being very, very important. If anyone can unlock the data with Xion, it would probably be Tron. The other reasons for kind of boils down to Sora never saw Rinsler go back to being Tron in the dream world, and he's probably kind of worried about him. Even if the two Trons are different creatures, so to speak, because Sora was probably seeing the Tron from the movie compared to the Tron that in the Kingdom Hearts world is an explicit copy. So there's something there. He's probably worried. The cameo is probably going to work out. Sixth world is Les Sept des Cloches, otherwise known as the world of the Hunchback of Notre Dame. It wasn't done right. Part of it is due to it being on the 3DS. Part of it is due to having it split up between two characters, Sora and Riku. But it wasn't anywhere as good as it needs to be. There was also a distinct lack of fighting against Frollo, and somebody needs to punch Frollo in the face. It's also a story about not judging on appearances, which I can see how that could play into the battles coming up, but I'm honestly not sure how. Would be something though. Also, Clopan could somehow have record to the Keyblade War. He is a storyteller. He memorizes things. I don't think he would have a full-blown written story or as good a memories as maybe Hades. But he would at the very least have a story that could be passed down for quite a while and expand on Kyrie's story about the children crying, redeeming the worlds. The last world is Disney Town. It's a really key location in the Kingdom Hearts mythos. It's kind of the heart of everything in its own way, which makes sense. So, if there was going to be a pitched battle, if it didn't happen, besides the battle that will happen at the Keyblade Graveyard, a battle in Disney Town and Disney Castle would make a lot of sense. Minnie has an extraordinarily amount of light magic. She could easily be some sort of Princess of Heart, Queen of Heart, or she could even be a protector, one of the Guardians, and she could team up with Mickey. All of these are very viable options because Minnie is kind and she's powerful. Now that Disney's got Oswald back and he's popular in Japan, Oswald could also show up. Jiminy's journals are currently stored in Disney Town and Disney Castle, so if they need to look back on anything and digitize anything, and that is where the Shion information is, it would be there. And I guess one of the last bits is because it's the way to Terra's armor. We don't know, we sort of know where Ven is, we sort of know where Aqua is, and Terra is the big question mark. It has it has that time travel thing to take you back to Terra's armor, and it's not Terra himself. It's Terra's soul possessing the armor, but it's honestly something, and it could be a way for them to track Terra and bring him back.